So we will discuss some case studies like I mentioned earlier, which is there in your syllabus. The first one that we will discuss is eChopal. eChopal was conceived as a more efficient supply chain by ITC's agribusiness division, one of India's largest exporters of agricultural commodities. The eChopal model tackles the challenges posed by the unique features of Indian agriculture, which is fragmented farms, weak infrastructure, the involvement of numerous intermediaries, etc. So this is one problem that was faced by ITC because they could not get good products out of the rural areas because they are exporters of these things, and they were in touch with the farmers. They got the products from the farmers to sell across. Now, when ITC faced this problem of fragmented markets, small markets that are there, the infrastructure is weak, there is no communication, there is no proper roadways. They wanted to find out how to get around it, get around the involvement of numerous intermediaries, which was increasing the price, so they were not getting enough profits. So how do you take care of this? And eChopal is ITC's initiative using information technology to virtually cluster all value chain participants, right from the farmers to the intermediaries and to other people that is there in the supply chain, delivering the same benefits as vertical integration does in other countries. So instead of having vertical taking over the distribution, instead of taking over the production, they decided that they will have a vertical integration using information technology, virtual integration. eChopal makes use of the physical transmission capabilities of current intermediaries. They are using the current intermediaries, they're not changing it. So the same thing they get out of them, which is aggregation, logistics, counterparty risk, and bridge finance, which they are getting out of them. So this is what they do. And what exactly it uses click and mortar capabilities. We talk about click and brick and mortar. So it is a combination of this, which is called the click and mortar capabilities, where village internet kiosks managed by farmers, they are called Sanchalaks, enable the agricultural community access to ready information. And that ready information, their local language and information like weather and market prices, they disseminate knowledge on scientific farm practices, what are the different types of seeds that are there, the new pesticides, fertilizers that are there, what are the organic farming methods and all those stuff. And risk management. They also talk about risk management, how to take out insurance and policies and all those. What are the government guidelines that are there? Any new policy, Kisan insurance and all has come up. All these things they clearly communicate in their language to the people. And they facilitate the sale of farm inputs and purchase. So there are people who are purchasing seeds, and these farmers after buying the seeds are cultivating it and selling. So there's the input and the output, and these people ITC aggregates all that and facilitate the sale of farm inputs and purchase farm produce from the farmer cost. Economies of scale, because these small farms which by themselves is too small to have economies of scale, with the help of ITC's technology, makes it economically viable because there is economy of scale, and help them to get high quality inputs. Because of that, they are able to get high quality inputs from established and reputed manufacturers at fair prices. And when they sell, they're able to sell at very good rates. As a direct marketing channel, virtually linked to the Mandi system, which is the market system, eChopal eliminates wasteful intermediation and multiple handling, significantly reducing transaction costs. So there is a significant reduction in transaction costs, and all that they are using is IT for that. While the farmers benefit through enhanced farm productivity, they get higher productivity and higher gate prices. ITC benefits from lower net cost of procurement. They are getting at lower prices, despite offering better prices to the farmers. So farmers are benefiting, ITC is benefiting. Only people who are not benefiting is the intermediaries. So having even the intermediaries who are there will get money. It is those. There are certain cases where they are eliminating intermediaries. That is who has lost out because of this. Having eliminated costs in the supply chain that did not add value. That is what they are. Launched in June 2000, eChopal services today reach out to over 4 million farmers, growing a range of crops: soybean, coffee, wheat, rice, pulses, shrimp, in over 35,000 villages, linked to 6,100 eChopals across 10 states. And these states are Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Telangana. Kerala is not there. So, not surprising. So this is what eChoupal is all about. It is one of the case studies that we have at our disposal regarding rural marketing. Then we come to Shakti. Shakti is an initiative by Hindustan Unilever. Project, it is an initiative to empower rural women and by creating livelihood opportunities and a regular income stream for them. Because Shakti is women and they are empowering rural women. HUL has trained thousands of women in villages across India to become entrepreneurs and make them financially independent. So they are made to be entrepreneurs and they become independent. These Shakti Ammas have been trained on basic tenets of distribution management and familiarization with the company's products. So the company provides them with products and they act as entrepreneurs. If you go to a shop, they may pack huge amounts of this thing. These Ammas will stock small amounts of products and only those products which they need and their friends needs, the people around them needs. So the number of products that they package keep will be less. The SKUs will be smaller, but they keep these products. So these Shakti Ammas are empowered. They may be having only a single income. The main wage earner is there. The other option with these Shakti Ammas is going and cleaning houses and all those maid service. So instead of that, they are giving dignity to these people by giving this opportunity. So they are trained in basic tenets of distribution management and they are made familiar with the company's products. HUL has a team of rural sales promoters, as RSPs, who coach and help Shakti Ammas in managing their business. This includes help in business basics and troubleshooting, as well as coaching in soft skills of negotiation and communication. Now even online marketing and stuff. Project Shakti has now over 1 lakh micro entrepreneurs across 18 states. And unfortunately, Kerala is not among that 18 states. So solutions to problems in rural market. We saw there are obstacles in rural market. So what are the solutions for each obstacle? Marketing, communication, media has to be more audiovisual, like I said, because they are not good at communication in written communication because they are illiterate. So it has to be audiovisual. Below the advertising is the name. Below the line advertising is the name of the game. No mainline advertising. Newspapers and magazines doesn't work, and TV is too widespread. The numbers are too widespread to make a real effect. Companies are tying up with self-help groups for distribution efficiencies. So what they're doing is they're going to Kudumbashree type of self-help in distribution, and they will be empowered to be the company's distributor, just like we were talking about Shakti Amma. Companies are manufacturing products and packaging specifically with the rural market in mind, like small sachets. We saw the first ones to come with this was the shampoo manufacturers. Shops in rural areas are encouraged to take up distribution into nearby areas. Big shops in rural areas, they are told by the salespeople, please take up distribution. Just take your bike and go and sell to where during the afternoons and all when not many people come into the shop. Why don't you take this and go and sell to the nearby area? So because you don't get good distributors, and distributors it doesn't make sense for them because there is not enough volumes. So small shops they are asked by the salespeople to take up distribution. The companies to take up distribution. Individuals with small van or even motorcycle and no go down or salespeople. You don't need a go down or salespeople. You take the vehicle. You have a small van or what do you call a petty vandi or even a motorcycle. You can use that and you can go and in the Tamil Nadu and all you have the M80 and the moped. You can use that. Cutting down on overheads do well as distributors in rural areas. This is what they do. Non-competing companies have salespeople mostly working on commission. There are people working in one company in most of the urban areas. But when it comes to rural areas, one person may be working for more than one company. And of course, non-competing companies so that they share the expenses. So distributors also provide salespeople to the companies and on commission basis. So that also happens. So these are some of the solutions. The problems in rural area, unique features of the rural areas, which is an obstacle to getting into the market. So that is regarding rural market. Now we come to something called global marketing into the 21st century. With our COVID in full flow, we don't know how interesting or relevant this is, but it is there in the syllabus, and maybe many of these things will turn around once the COVID comes to an end. So global marketing in the 21st century, the world is shrinking rapidly with the advent of faster communication, transportation, and financial flows. International trade is booming and now accounts for a major portion of all countries' GDP. Global competition is intensifying and few industries are now safe from foreign competition. To compete, companies are continuously improving their products, expanding into foreign markets, and becoming global firms. But global firms face several major problems. Of course, the first one is COVID. But beyond that, you have high debt, inflation, and unemployment have resulted in highly unstable governments and currencies. You have the example of Zimbabwe, where in the morning, you may have 50 rupees for a product. In the evening, it will cost you nothing less than 75 to 80 rupees. Of course, their currency. So every week, the government changes the price. Every week, the shops change the price because MRP itself has changed. No, not even the same because and at one point of time they decided to scrap the MRP because prices were going like that because of high inflation. You're talking about not in India. We are saying that we have high inflation rates having 10%. Here you are talking about 1,000%. One of my students, he was working in Tanzania and he was selling Sony products, and you know they're all consumer durable, so it's very fairly costly. So 30,000 rupees, if you're having something, they come with sacks of notes because you have to have sacks to carry that 30,000. So this is a situation in many countries, and there is a highly unstable governments. You go to one government because the government has invited you to go there. You get down in the airport, they will say you go back because the government has changed. Governments placing more regulations on foreign firms. They don't want foreign firms to take the whole market. They want the local firms also to do well. So they are placing more regulations. There are protectionist tariffs and trade barriers, and of course corruption, which is a major thing, which is there in India also, but it is equally there in other foreign countries, especially the Asian and maybe African countries.